Oh, I didn't see you there. Except you can't see me. Hello, my name is, you know who I am, Aaron, the Aaron. I'm here at Cult Classics with my co host, the odd one himself, Mike. Um, how are you doing, Mike?
Hi, what's T? What's going
Shoot,
on?
Spike Lee School Days. That's T.
No, that is T. No
That's the
shit.
T for
Like
the day.
I literally just finished it like 2 minutes ago,
See?
and it was definitely my first watch. So that was like my first fresh eyes. Spoiler alert: fresh eyes is something else that we want to do in the future. But
Man, you ain't lying there. So was
uh,
that your first Spike Lee movie? Like,
no, that wasn't my first Spike Lee movie, but that
okay,
was my first time seeing School Days. I will
yeah.
say that. That was my
What,
first time seeing School Days.
and what's funny is that was his second film.
Right. I
Yeah.
saw that. I was doing some deep diving previous before watching it. And then I was also trying not to read like
Yeah.
reviews that was spoiling it, but then I just all together stopped reading it. But I did see a couple people say that this was his second movie.
Mm-hmm.
Um who it's a
Right.
lot.
Yeah, it's I think this is one of his I'm gonna just say one of his ballsiest movies. Even though all
Mhm.
of his movies are, just because this was in like what 88, I believe. Yes, it was. It was 88. So for one of the main plot points to be about apartheid in South Africa, that's one. To talk about colorism and classism, on campus at HBCU and legacy students and Greek life. That's a lot. That in a good way. That's a lot for someone to take on the mantle to talk about. And when I first saw it, I was just like, damn, he really went there. And I'm sure you did too.
Yeah,
Cause
it was a lot of different elements of genre-ness that I was like, huh, okay. Even
weren't
the
expecting the
opening, I was
musical
like,
parts, were you?
no, I wasn't. And the crazy thing about it, my dad had told me to watch when Tisha Campbell and them was singing when they had the black
Oh
dresses on.
yeah.
My dad had been sent me that was like, I think you should do this in drag. I think you should do this. I
Mm-hmm.
think you should do this. And I was like, I don't know. But I had saw that was like my first ever
Yeah.
like clip of the movie without even know what the movie was. And I do remember my dad was like, Spike Lee made this, da 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 da, but I
Mm-hmm.
think you should do this. But it was just funny because actually seeing it play out in the movie
Yeah.
was cool. So, yeah.
He did his. This was his big one for a while, and then I'm just going to get this out of the way. You know, She's Got to Have It was, great in its own right, but this one is what made Spike Lee the critical darling, um,
Mhm,
until he made Do the Right Thing, and
mhm.
then he became the critical enemy. So I think it's really interesting. Like this is a good window to see that era of blackness in the '80s, especially during this wonderful DEI Black History Month right now. You know,
Right.
um,
I think that's why we actually
you
chose
know,
this. I was like, hey, I think we should talk about this. I
it's
think
perfect.
it has a lot of different topics that it talked about in the 80s.
Yeah.
Mind you, it did come out in 1988. So I thought I was like, and plus you had been telling me you need to watch this movie. I think you would like it, blah blah
You
blah. And I
should.
was like, I think this would be perfect for us to talk about during Black History Month because I do think it mattered then, and I
Yeah.
think why we deem it a cult classic is because of the elements and the things and the themes that it did
Hmm.
speak about. There is one thing that I did not like about it, but we'll
Mm.
talk about that when we get to that
Oh,
part.
I'm interested in that.
The
Isn't it funny
whole
how a lot didn't change? How a lot hadn't changed?
far as the
Like some of
movie
the
or far as
topics,
like times like
like the
the
time.
topics are still there, but it's crazy
Yeah.
how you can take those topics and expand them now,
Hmm.
especially in HBCU culture. You can
Hmm.
really take those and really expand through the things that we've been through in the last decade, the
Yeah.
last 3 years, the last 5 years. So it's still, and I think a lot of people should watch this now as
Right.
adults, even in our generation. I think we should watch it because, granted, it's a comedy, but it points on a lot of different things that are
Hmm.
that were spoke back in the 80s, the 90s, and
Yeah.
now even today.
And I have a very controversial take. We don't have to touch on it too much if you don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
But I just this may go into what something you may not have liked, but I just feel like Half
If it's
Pint,
a,
which was
yes,
Spike's character. I,
yes, I already know that. Like that, the whole resolution of Half Pint is what I did not like. I was
yeah,
like, yeah. Which
yeah,
let's just talk about it because I
yeah.
mean
Okay, okay,
we're gonna jump around anyway
that's
because this is a
fine.
spoiler alerts. We are
Yeah,
gonna be
big
talking
spoiler
about
alert.
about everything in the movie. The biggest thing of that was I didn't like it because I felt like it was pressure. He was pressured to do it, and it
Yeah,
was also you have to look at it from the female's perspective. You
right,
know, you
right.
can't. It made me look at brother whatever his name is. It made me look at him very
Yeah.
different because it was like, okay, I was looking at you throughout the whole movie as you are a leader for what you stand for and
Hmm.
whatever your area is. And Lawrence Fishburne's character was a leader in what he stood for and everything.
Right,
Tisha Campbell was a leader for whatever she stood for
right.
and stuff like that. The girl that Lawrence Fishburne was dating, she was the
Hmm.
leader for what she was standing for. You have these four
Exactly.
different components and leaders from different backgrounds and different,
Right,
it meshed well for the full-fledged story. But then when they got to that, I was like, now you're
right.
contradicting yourself.
Hmm.
I felt bad for both characters. I did not.
Yeah,
I felt bad for the whole triangle because it was one of those
yeah.
things where it's like I don't think that needed to happen. You
It
know,
didn't.
I mean, I understand the plot twist of it all, but
Yeah,
I
but it was
felt like
just
there
like,
could have been a different.
yeah,
And we
it
even
felt
still
very
talking.
squirmy.
We're still talking in like code because I kind of don't want to spoil it, but I feel like there was
Right.
another way that they could have like
Yeah.
brought that. If that's going to be the resolution of Half Pint, I
Yeah.
feel like that could have been a whole nother thing. I
Yeah.
actually have a theory, but I don't. We can talk about that off
Oh
camera.
no, no, no! I got a theory too. We might have the
Because
same theory.
that's why.
That's why. Yeah.
If
Okay.
you
Okay.
wanted to
So let me
really
take it
take
to
it
say it.
another level,
Say
but I know why he couldn't take it another level, which
yeah,
is fine.
because it was
But
Spike Lee, and it was the
if
'80s.
I had the opportunity and the blessing of Spike Lee to actually tell another story with the aesthetics of School Days, I
Yes,
would have.
like a remake.
I would a remake or what I don't know, but I would take the aesthetics and I would take the aesthetics of what it
Hmm.
means
Yeah.
and will apply it to what it means to me as
Yeah.
somebody
I
who's
just.
black and
Yeah.
gay and all. Like that's the route
That's
that
yeah.
I would go with it.
I felt like Half Pint. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. By today's looking at it through today's lens,
Yeah.
I just, I know he didn't, he may not have intended for that, but I just felt like Half Pint was a virgin because he was closeted, and that's why things happened the way they did.
Mm-hmm.
And but I do like how you mentioned, let's just call them like the four pillars, like those, the four main casts. We can bring
Yeah.
in, break everything down through that. But it's like, Half Pint representing, that black life that wants to be accepted.
Mm-hmm.
And if you notice, he was the darkest one in the
Yeah.
gammas.
Yes, he
Um,
was. Everybody else was light skinned.
And the way he did what he did at the end reminded me of slavery.
Mm-hmm.
Given, the bug breaking stuff. And
Yeah.
I know that's exactly what Spike was. Oh, yeah. See, ooh, this movie's so deep.
It's a really, but I don't, that doesn't take it away. That did take it a
Right.
point down for me. It would have been a 10 out of 10 if it wasn't for that,
Yeah.
but I gave it a 9 out of 10. But
It just
that
makes him
just,
look
it
slimy.
makes, yeah, I was low key uncomfortable
Yeah,
But
unfortunately, that's life.
but I don't think it was, it was
Yeah,
just one of those topics where I
necessary.
was just like, you didn't have to do that. But
Yeah, well, that's why you got
it
his
is
ass whooped. That's why you got his
right.
ass whooped. You know.
It would have been it could have been something else. But there are good things that I did enjoy about it. Could you give us a synopsis of this movie, please?
Of course. During homecoming weekend, yeah, it was homecoming weekend.
Friday, Saturday,
Yep.
Sunday.
Which is, I'm surprised no HBCU movie has done something like that, or even show has done that anymore. But homecoming weekend, there are, at HBCU in the '80s, late '80s, there are just beautiful black people, but we're focused on two factions of basically colorism and fraternity and sorority. Uh, and you have the Gammas and I cannot remember what the other fraternity was called. The one that Lawrence Fishburne.
Oh
Ooh,
God. Child.
you know which one.
They was Daddy Long Circuit.
Daddy Long.
There's a Daddy Long Circuit fraternity. Golly.
Yeah, they were, but Lawrence Fishburne's character. Oh, let me here. Okay, Lawrence Fishburne's character was Vaughn. Yeah, Dap. Yeah, that's right. Dap and Dean Big Brother Almighty were basically, let's just say, they were kind of running those HBCUs on both sides.
Oh, definitely. They were the top dogs.
Yeah, Dap was the Afrocentric, say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. And we're going to keep those African roots and we're going to fight for South Africa and, super political, very edgy. Black is beautiful. The darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. He had his boys with him. He had the dark melanated girl with Rachel. Like he was about that life. But then on the other side, you had Julian, who was Dean Big Brother Almighty. And he was like, with his girl Jane by Tisha Campbell, and like one of her earliest roles after Little Shop of Horrors, and
right,
just had to throw that in there. But Dean Big Brother Almighty, he was very focused on having an American life and progressing as black people. Like he still considers himself black, but he was not. I mean, we can get into the diaspora wars that you see on Twitter all the time. But he said he was from Chicago, he was from Motown, the Windy City. He cared about the now. He didn't care about what's going to happen for us politically. He cared about how's he going to be able to get ahead. And unfortunately, that was seen through colorism because his entire fraternity, passed the paper bag test. If you know, you know. And in the middle of it, you had Spike Lee as Half Pint, which was Dap's cousin, who wanted to join Julian's fraternity so badly, and he would do anything. The only issue is that Julian, obviously having a grudge against Dap, he wanted to make an example out of Half Pint and said the only way he's going to get in through homecoming weekend is he has to lose his virginity. So there's just a lot going on. It's about partying. It's about enjoying yourself. It's about masculinity. It's about femininity because between Rachel and Jane, between the Jigaboo Wannabe song, it all comes down to the hair, that's a whole thing in itself. This movie is all about, it was just about relating to yourself, which everyone in college, anyone in life can get through. And I think this is one of the first times, if not the first movie, that showed Black Greek life, in this very honest approach, because it was fun. At the end of the day, it was fun, but it, had you thinking a lot about what was going on. So yeah, this is it's a very wild ride, but it's all
oh my
about
God,
waking up.
It was an experience. I ain't even gonna hold you. I truly,
Yeah, how do you
especially like I
feel?
said,
How did you
I
feel when
I
you
really
when it's
enjoyed it.
over?
I did. Like I run it down. I'm gonna probably tweet Spike later this weekend, but like you know what?
Here,
For that to be your second movie for me, and that was my and I know it's been years since it came out, but for
yeah,
me, and that being my first time watching it, I really did enjoy it. You know, I love music. I love musicals.
yes,
I was in the band. I love all that type of shit. You know, so I had friends who went to HBCU, so I know I have people who are still, you know, supporting HBCUs, going to homecoming and
hmm,
stuff. You know, I participated in homecoming parades in the band, so you know, it's just different things that I felt the elements. My favorite parts of it was the musical aspects of it. Yes, it's a
yes,
comedy, and yes, it has these themes in it, but the musical aspects is what got me. The first
yeah,
musical number was the two opposing female sororities
yep,
going at each other for hair texture and how they look. And granted, it did bring up that first theme of, you know, colorism. And
hmm,
I know it's a sticky topic, but I'm sure in
right,
that time frame it was one of those topics that was probably it was really fresh and it was
right,
happening, but it's one of those moments where you have to look at it as like we shouldn't be looking at each other like that. You know,
hmm,
let's come together. But I did enjoy seeing the tension and seeing the cattiness of it because it was fun. You know, hold on,
right.
pause. You know what? You know what? The
What?
first thing I thought about when the sororities musical number happened,
What?
I said Spike was supposed to make West Side Story.
Man, yeah, I could see that.
No
I
shade.
could see that.
I'm not like he was supposed to make his own
Yeah, West
West
Side
Side
Story.
Story. Like his own rendition of Romeo or Juliet or West
Yeah,
Side Story. He's supposed to make his own because that told me, seeing that then
yeah,
told me that he wanted to step into that world of, you know, musicals and
yes,
musical theater for black people because there are black African Americans and people of color who are in on Broadway who do
right.
musicals and stuff like that. I was a
Oh,
theater
I love
kid,
a music
you
fan.
know, so I really think it was one of those moments where it's like I was like, oh my God, why didn't he do a musical? Why didn't he
Yeah,
do a musical? Like, why didn't he do a musical? Because I felt like he had the aesthetics and the blueprint to do
hmm,
something more magical than what we seen just because it's Spike Lee, you know.
well, we
But
would
that
not
was so good.
imagine
That
that.
first musical number was like perfect. It came at the right moment because all of the
Yes,
stepping stones was there, all of the building blocks was there, and to see that be the first musical number, I was like, okay. And the
hmm.
girls was eating down. I mean, both sides was catty. They was throwing shade.
They were
You
pulling
ain't
each
nothing
other's
but a
hair,
jigaboo looking for something to do. Oh my God.
and you
Like
will
it was
want to be better
okay.
than me.
Yes, like the mannerisms, the feminine, like it was just
Yes,
they wasn't just pop locking and dropping. They were
right,
doing lyrical dancing. They were doing
right.
ballet. It was doing pirouettes, and then they was also doing what we saw the Jets and the Sharks do was the
Hmm,
fighting dance where they look like they're
right.
fighting and intertwining with each other, but they're not fighting. That was magical. Spike, you was in your bag. You was way ahead of your time with all these other hoes in that
I'm
film were
saying,
running. I'm just saying, like, I see why a lot of people hate Spike Lee
yeah,
because Spike Lee was an African American man who was doing shit that the other ones was doing, but was doing it with flavor, was doing it
right.
with soul, was doing it with like everything that you can imagine that just looked good on stage. Like it looked real good.
Exactly.
Even his cinematography and how he shot, the fact that he was the creator, the writer, and the director
Yeah,
of this, my boy
yeah.
was working 24/7.
And he acted in it.
Oh, and he acted in it. He
Like,
was the main character. I forgot. Ah,
yeah.
shit. He was the main fucking character. So, you know, like I said, that right along that first musical number solidified that I was into it. I was like, oh, okay, this is good, you
I'm
know.
telling you, like Spike, everybody try to, yeah, everyone is trying to nibble off Spike's nachos for the kids out there. who need to understand what we trying to say. Like he
Not
really
you just
is
said
the
nachos.
originator. He's the originator of
I'll
this
block
stuff.
you.
Like I'm just look like I'm you got me looking at clips from the Madame Riri scene and them pulling out the Mammy flyer, like
They
and
pulled
then
out the
the
Mammy flyers, and then they pulled out the
Judy Garland.
Mm-hmm.
Like this.
It was a good like that
That's crazy.
that alone solidified the movie. Like that
Yeah.
that was a step above, I think, anything that's probably out in '88. No shame.
Yeah, I kind of wish he and looking back, because I remember watching the movie, even though it was 2 hours, I kind of wish he had went into more from the sororities perspective too.
Yeah,
you know, because Rachel, because I just love that one line. I think it's either before or after Rachel and Dap, sleep together, and she's like, "Are you only with me just because I'm the darkest one on the campus?" Like that right there, that says a lot about her character. She's very aware of what's going on,
right?
And then the question is he only with her because of that?
Right. Because oh girl, I was like, because I did like their relationship, and I like
it's healthy.
What they were doing. It was a very nice, healthy relationship. But it also, when he did reveal that, I'm gonna cut her off, I was like, don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. Y'all done made this facade. Maybe y'all need to be put on probation again.
That's all. Yeah. They need some. Everybody needs probation after that.
A little bit of probation.
Everybody need probation after that party. And Tisha Campbell is Jane. I mean,
Jane Foster?
Jane Toussaint, that was her name.
Oh.
Tisha Campbell character. Jane with the red hair. She had the red hair. She had the leather jacket. She had the attitude.
Speaking of Tisha Campbell was in her bag in that time era too, because I hate how we be using her as memes now and stuff, but
people forget
back in the day she could really sing. Like even when they did their I guess that was the talent show, or that was the coronation, and they were about to crown the new Mrs. What was the school? Miss it was Mission.
Yes.
Miss Mission. There was a coronation and they were about to crown her, but they had a little performances or whatever, and they did this. It was 4 of them, and they did. And Jasmine Guy was one of them, which I love. Jasmine Guy throughout this whole movie too. But I just want to throw some flowers to Miss Tisha Campbell, because I do feel like at that time she was in her bag when it came to musicals. She was in Little Shops of Horror. She was in this. She was in other things that showcased her voice. I do feel like, and this is just me, and I don't know nobody's background story, I don't know nobody's life, but I do feel like if she was set up for success, I think she would have had a successful R&B career.
100%.
But that's another topic for another day. But she sang down in that movie. When she had that moment to actually solo and do her thing, she was eating the notes up. And I appreciate that, because a lot of people don't know that she could really sing. A lot of people just play that I'm still here. And I hate that because, baby girl, ma'am. No. I appreciate it because I knew what you were saying, but Lord. But back in the day, the lady
she could blow.
She really could sing. So
that was supposed to be Vanessa Williams' role before she dropped out. Yeah, before she dropped out.
Yo, that's crazy. I could see that too. Wow.
Right? But it was meant for Tisha. It was meant for Tisha.
But the crazy thing about it, another thing that I appreciate about this movie was all of the Black actors and actresses that we know today was in this movie. Like, it was a long list. Dwayne was in that movie. Dwayne was in that movie. I mean, Jasmine Whitley was in the movie. It was other.
It's the guy that played Ron was in there too.
Yes, this fine ass guy. Y'all was going after Dwayne. I was letting that run. But nah, it felt good just to see a lot of it felt good to see a lot of people of color
Mm-hmm.
actresses that we know of now who have thrived in their careers, and I just love it. It felt like a home. It felt for me actually. It felt like a homecoming watching them, just
Yeah.
seeing they're at their prime in that young youthful age, and they're all getting those gigs and things like that. So that was reassuring, and that was also amazing to see. Um,
How you feel about that step
so,
scene?
huh?
How you
Oh,
feel about the step scene?
the step scene was everything.
Daddy long stroke.
No shade. The gamma's
Hello,
tape
hello,
down.
hello.
Oh, hello,
Hey,
Avia.
I was gonna introduce you. Dang.
My bad, my
I was
bad.
like, she's stepping
Okay, I was
in. I
gonna
was like, she's stepping
introduce you.
in.
You're stepping on in, though. We have Avia here. She's gonna come in and she's gonna say her point of view of the
Especially
movie as
from,
well.
yeah.
Especially because we can just go ahead and segue to that, then we can come back to the step show.
Yeah.
If you don't know, Avia is in a sorority. She does go to a HBCU, and
That's right.
she's thriving there. So I was like, you know what? It would feel like home, and it wouldn't be no reason why I wouldn't say, hey, sis, I think you should speak. Only
Right.
because you are in the lifestyle. You are a person, a female, Black woman
Period.
that is
Okay.
at a HBCU thriving, and it is in a sorority. And I'm gonna let you say all that. I don't want to tell your tea as far as your sorority union and everything. I'm gonna let you have your moment. So here go your moment, and here you go. The crown and the floor is yours.
Oh,
Period.
thank you. So let's start off first with Spike's background. He went to a HBCU.
Mm-hmm.
He went to Morehouse. So he
Period.
knows the culture as well. Like, he's a Morehouse man. Like, if you knew
Mhm.
nothing else about him, you know that. And, he's very much in tune with HBCU culture. So there was no one better to create this story. And as y'all brought it up, a lot of the cast members in this film also transitioned to a different world, which, as we
Mhm.
know, became one of the greatest shows depicting HBCU culture. Like, to this day, like, A Different World is referenced to this day. School Days is referenced to this day
Preach.
in HBCU culture. And the colorism, like, the moment I saw it, I was like, Like, because I think I saw it when I actually was at Grambling. If y'all know, the HBCU Mike referred to, I graduated with my master's from Grambling State, the Grambling State University.
Period.
And just watching this film, because I was in it, I was like, yeah, yep. Just the overall atmosphere, like, especially in the 80s and 90s, like when our parents went to college, like around the time where like it was lit. Like the Butsy, like that is an HBCU party in the 80s and the 90s. Like that is the epitome of HBCU party in the late 80s, early 90s.
Pre-Freaknik era.
Yes,
man. When they started, I said, "Now this is where I'm supposed to be." No shame, golly, everybody ass was out.
Golly. And I just love the fact that in this film, the characters are very aware.
Mm-hmm.
They're very aware of what's going on in the world around them. Like Dap, like he's very aware of apartheid, which is why he's protesting against it, and he's trying to get his fellow students to protest against it. And just Giancarlo Esposito's character, Big Brother, he knows the Greek life, so everybody is in tune with their own section, like they get it. And I love at the end when the whole wake up scene, and when he's telling everybody to wake up, like, come on y'all, like we gotta focus, like what's going on now, like y'all, we gotta wake up, like we gotta wake up.
Isn't it funny how that ends with wake up and do the right thing begins with wake up?
Yep. because this came before Do the Right Thing.
Yeah,
So,
right before.
Yeah, because this came out in 88. Do the Right Thing came out in what, 90? 90?
89.
89. Yeah, 89.
Mhm.
Came out in
Low key
89.
sounded like he
So,
was trying to build his
There you go.
cinematic universe. No
That's
shade.
right.
actually,
know.
there is a cinematic universe because in the TV show Netflix, She's All That, Anthony Ramos' character is actually his son.
Oh, shit.
Really?
Well, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
He's half Pike's son.
No.
Oh.
Pinky's son. You Do the Right Thing.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
See? See?
I really, like I said, I think Spike was ahead of his time for real.
Yeah, he's Mookie's son. Yeah, he was Mookie's son.
Mookie. Yes. Damn, that's a good movie.
Yeah, when I heard that, I was like, what?
That's a good movie.
Like, yeah, that's his son. I was like, oh, okay.
That's a good movie. And the fact that this is basically considered technically an indie movie, if you really think about it.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what I'm saying. Like, this just so. I think this is also why he got away with the subject matter like he did, because that's technically indie. Like I said, this made him an indie darling for that. You know, until the next movie.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like Avia said, the fact that everyone's aware, like, even though they make stupid ass decisions, they know they're doing it. You know, it's not like in a lot of movies now where it's like they don't know. No, they're very well aware of what they're doing and why they're doing it.
Exactly.
Did y'all peep at the end where Jasmine Guy's character was during the wake up scene? Ooh.
Wasn't she with
That's right.
Yeah,
right.
she was,
Yeah.
She took her place. She took Tisha Campbell's place, basically.
That's right. Rewatch that scene, Mike. Rewatch the scene. You'll see.
Meaning she wanted that spot the whole time.
Bingo. Mm-hmm. It's always the one close to you.
She just waited her turn.
Yep. See how that works.
But this is definitely a film that should be studied. Definitely in not just the African film, African American film class, but just in general film class. Because I wish I took this class in there. Didn't you take our tours class?
Technically, yeah.
And instead of one of them.
Yeah, instead of this, we watched Bamboozle, which is another one we could talk about.
Yes, because that one definitely needs to be talked about.
Yeah.
That one,
but this one, I think this one is I don't know, maybe it's just the 80s aesthetic for me, but it's got something, you know, it's got
flavor.
Something that, it's got the flavor.
Soul.
You know, it's like seeing that
realness.
Yeah, seeing that realness, like that Black life produced in the Reagan era. Right before, you know, okay, yeah. So, you know, with Black life, especially like late 20th century, there's the living single era, and then there's the one right before that, and this is the right before that, and I just think that's so interesting.
Yep.
That's just such an interesting era for me, because it's like, how did we move then? And, you know, because you can hear your parents talk about it, but just seeing it so realistically, you know, because I remember watching this movie and my dad and my mom, you know, they're both like, yep, that's exactly how it was. It's exactly how it was. So just, Spike was in his bag.
But let's be honest, Spike has always been in his bag since he started. He hasn't stopped. Like, he hasn't stopped, like, to this day.
That's why that man didn't like him.
Woo!
Y'all know which one. Y'all know exactly which one.
I will say, I was thoroughly entertained. I do want to touch on one thing before we get back to the step show. We'll end with the step show, but I do appreciate the cinematography of it.
Absolutely.
You know, I think the way the themes of the lights and the different set pieces, like I said, even with the first musical number, that set piece for the two sororities, that was perfect. the light and when the soloist is singing the song
Oh,
while the lady is getting crowned, that was perfect. And but then it was
I
like the
love that
way that
song.
it was cut between each of the crowning and him singing,
Yeah.
and then what everybody else is going through. I think just the way that it was shot was beautiful. I think a lot of
Yeah.
people take for granted what Spike Lee has created and
Yeah.
where he's been and where he's gone. And I mean, he's still creating stuff. I was looking on his damn shit today, and he has a couple projects coming out.
Mhm.
So which one
Yeah,
I think
let's
is really,
get-
really about to happen come is the ASAP Rocky one that's being made.
Mhm. Yep.
So I really appreciated the whole aspect of the movie. What was you about to say, Avia?
Let's give Ernest R. Dickinson, his cinematographer that he's worked with
100%.
a
Yes.
while, his props, because he did School Days, he did
That man knows how
Do the
to
Right
film
Thing.
black skin.
Okay.
he did Mo Better Blues, he did Jungle Fever, like he's Malcolm X, like he's a constant collaborator with Spike. So let's
Yeah.
give him his flowers.
Even it can be awkward for some people, I'm sure not us, but people out there for like sex scenes and stuff, but that was beautifully lit.
Mhm.
The blue highlighting the black skin. That's an art form. That's an art. You can't just do that just all willy-nilly. Like, see, filmmakers need to start taking classes.
Denzel Washington, Jeffrey Wright, and Ice Spice. Child.
Oh, that new one? Yeah.
Yeah.
You already knew what I was thinking.
It's that pap every time.
We could have got a musical with Denzel from Spike Lee back in the day, y'all. Just want to say that.
I mean, I hope he has the width and will to do something as a musical before he caps his career off, because I just feel like just seeing that alone, like I said, the first thing I thought was like, why this man didn't do West Side Story, or why has he been a black West Side Story or a black Romeo and Juliet? Why? Because it would be so perfect.
He did one in when was Chirac done? Chirac was done.
20.
When was Chirac?
16?
You said Chirac?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let me look that up.
Was that
2015? 2015.
Okay, yeah. 2015. Okay.
It was like a rap musical. They didn't say rap.
I still watch it. I like rap.
What? And I'm gonna go ahead and ask the question for a lot of my
And Tiana Paris was the main character.
Sure was. That's how I first saw her. Like I was like,
I remember seeing her in Dear White People.
Oh, that's right. She was in Dear White People.
Child, he does
that movie.
Wait, time out. He got in pre-production called Prince of Cats, 80s hip hop retelling of the Shakespeare time classics Romeo and Juliet.
Huh? Spike?
Yes, it's in pre-production. It's called Prince of Cats. 80s hip hop retelling.
Cool. Now that's gonna be cool. That's gonna be cool.
Tablet and his couplet crew navigate a violent Brooklyn where underground swords, dueling, and Montagues blossom alongside a vibrant music scene. What?
Well, looks like you just manifested that.
Lakeith Stanfield as Tablet. Wait.
Yeah, Tybalt.
Oh, that's
Tybalt.
okay.
Yeah, Lakeith Stanfield as Tybalt. Yeah, that's
Tybalt. Thank you.
Ooh.
What? I'm about to say. Wait. What?
That's
gonna be dope.
That's why Spike Lee always needs to be in the same conversations as Martin Scorsese.
And the crazy thing is, Martin Scorsese was his film school teacher.
You feel me? So it's
Are you serious?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
And Spike teaches classes at NYU too.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of Spike's proteges.
It's like have a conversation. No, actually, we just gonna have to hold on. Let me go back up to it. We're gonna have to just do this. We're gonna have to do this. We have to dedicate him one. And I just looked up his birthday. His birthday is March 20th, which is the day before mine. So might have to work that into March meeting. We have a meeting this weekend.
I'm cool with that.
As Spike Lee retrospective, I'm down.
Yeah.
I am so down because I think I've always heard Spike Lee in my life since I've been a kid. Growing up, Spike Lee. I may have not seen everything that he's done, but I've seen a few that I have enjoyed.
Right.
But this one was I think this one was my favorite. Besides the little plot twist that I do feel like, and that's the only reason why I didn't get a 10 out of 10. They got a 9 out of,
which is fair. That's fair.
Which is, I will say he did inspire me. I wish somebody that is in my community would watch this and, be inspired to create something that would mean something to what we have now. And I'm not just talking about, my community. I'm talking about all communities, the things that we are fighting for now, the things that we are pressing towards, and, that unity of people coming together and supporting each other.
Especially what's going on now.
Especially what is going on now. But let's cap it off. And I want to go back to, we'll start with doing the butt, actually. Let's just go ahead and go there, and then we'll...
They still play at HBCUs to this day.
Oh, that's a hood. That's a hood. That's a good
classic. That's a hood classic.
That's a hood
especially at homecoming,
classic.
when the older alumni, the 80s, 90s alumni, oh, man.
Yeah.
Man.
That's a hood classic.
But you know what? They probably... Because of this movie, having that, it's supposed to be there,
Yeah.
Step Show was a 10 out of 10. Sorry, everybody did their big one. Everybody did their big one. I mean, everybody did. Even meow.
Yeah.
Everybody did their big one. I mean, everybody. It was very cool to see the Gammas do what they did. And then it was very cool to see, Lawrence and they'll come out. I was like, what, looking like a space gadget, but the fact that I see them hopping around with their tippy toes, and I mean, when I said they did their big one, they did their big one. Like, I was like, oh, they came to fight, and then they actually did end up fighting.
They did, and that was a real fight too.
Why?
Because Spike Lee, he did this thing where he put, he divided the cast on different sides of whatever location they were at. And there was actual animosity because they got, the light-skinned side got amenities that the darker skin cast.
Yeah, he wanted to create tension.
And it was real tension. And when that fight broke out, it was real, and he kept the cameras going. So yeah.
Oh, he messy.
Daddy Longstream for real.
He messy. Oh, he messy. He messy for that. All right, so now he gonna go to an 8.5 for that, homeboy. Now, I'm sitting up there talking up you. You gonna be messy like that. Well, you gotta stir the pot. Spike, not you was stirring the pot like that.
Give him some housewife points.
Yo, he get 100 points for that because that's some messy shit right there. And then the whole doing the butt scene, that was like my favorite scene because just like everybody was carefree to think whatever. Mm-hmm. They had their little speedos on, they had their little tight bathing suits on. I mean, everybody was shaking their butts, and I mean, everybody was twerking that night. And then that was one of those things where there was no shame, there was nobody, saying anything. This is why I also allude to. I think that if times were different, I think he would have added that. That little sweet little sugar on top, that little cherry on top. But I can understand. I can. But I saw the clues. The clues was there.
It was there.
Yeah. I don't know. Some train.
We know we saw.
I saw some train. Train was train. Train did down. I was like, what's I see you. We see you. Shout out the train. I see you. But no, it was just really good just to see everybody just carefree. Nobody's judging anybody. Everybody's just having a good time, and I think that's the beauty of going to a HBCU. Nobody's judging anybody. I've been to
That's
plenty
right.
of fashion shows, step shows, and things that have happened at HBCUs, and nobody is judging nobody. Everybody's just having good kiki fun, a little, a little bit of shade, but it ain't nothing too serious, you know what?
Right.
And it's just
And if
high
you're
school elevated.
and
Right.
if you're in a sorority or a specific sorority or fraternity, and if your sorority is in the step show, like you're cheering like hella loud,
Definitely.
like you're doing all
Yeah,
the
like we need to
whooping and
just come on
hollering
down to
and
Grambling for homecoming. No
yeah.
shade.
Oh.
Girl, tell me what the Daze
Oh.
is. Girl, tell me we'll get some chicas tequila.
Like for real, like HBCU homecomings are lit.
Yeah,
Like,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a
they
beauty
are
to see.
incredible. Like,
It's a beauty.
like-
It's a beauty.
especially if you haven't really been to one in a while, or you've
Yeah.
never been to one, your eyes will be wide open. Like, oh wow, like this is insane. Like you gotta walk everywhere because there's no room for parking. Like just tailgating.
You get your walking in. You ain't lying.
Like great food, tailgating, the step show after the game. Everybody going into the AC for the step show. Like just good vibes
Yeah.
all around. But there's also the not so pretty parts that
Right.
this film does portray, and I think that's a very important thing too. Like he showed the
Yeah.
good and the bad.
Yeah. Like it was a love letter, but it was also a critique, and that's what makes him one of the greats.
Yeah.
He will
So-
always be in my top 5.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. You heard it here first. Top 5. We will
Okay.
be dedicating a month and an episode to
Mhm.
Spike Lee. And it's only right not only to do it for his birthday month. So March we will have a retrospective of Spike Lee. So tag us. Tell us what is your favorite Spike Lee movie, your favorite Spike Lee moment, because I know a lot of times he goes to the basketball game. Send us some memes that you love of him, but we will be celebrating Spike
My
Lee.
new favorite meme though is when Matt McClung dunked over the car and Spike just had this look like, okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, my meme is always
Okay.
when you look at Bradley Cooper.
Oh God, yeah, that was a good one. Well, if all hearts and minds are clear,
Somebody in the face.
Live done.
live done. See y'all next time. Oh,
Bye.
we're streaming on Twitch tomorrow.
Yes.